From brutal Greek chaos to Norse fatherhood, Kratos has lived through some of the most iconic moments in gaming history. Today, we're ranking every God of War game from worst to best, analyzing gameplay, story, visuals, and legacy. Let's begin. Number 10. God of War Betrayal. Let's talk about the most forgotten entry in the God of War series, released in 2007 for Java mobile phones. It's a 2D side-scrolling action game. Can you believe it captured the spirit of God of War using flip phone buttons? Developed by Java Ground and Sony Online Entertainment, it's the only game not made by Santa Monica Studio. And it never even touched a PlayStation console. The story fits into the canon, taking place between Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus. Kratos is framed for a murder he didn't commit, leading him on a furious quest to find the real killer. For a mobile title, it's surprisingly impressive with combos, mini-bosses, and environmental puzzles. All of this in a game that's less than 2 megabytes. The art direction tries to emulate the PS2 games, and while crude, it has that same angry energy we love. But let's be real, by today's standards, it's barely playable. The controls are stiff, the sound is non-existent, and Kratos looks like he's moonwalking in rage. Yet, it's a fascinating piece of history. Proof that God of War was such a phenomenon, Sony wanted Kratos everywhere. Betrayal isn't a bad game, it's just outdated. A cool collectible for hardcore fans, but definitely the weakest link in the chain of chaos. Number 9. God of War Chains of Olympus. Now we dive into the PSP era, where Sony dared to fit our favorite angry Spartan into our pockets. Spoiler alert, he could, and he brought a whole lot of destruction with him. Developed by Ready at Dawn, Chains of Olympus was a technical marvel for the PSP back in 2008. This game serves as a prequel, showing Kratos still under the god's command, haunted by nightmares of his past. The tone is deeply personal, exploring his guilt, servitude, and longing for redemption. Graphically, it was mind-blowing for a handheld with stunning lighting effects and detailed character models. It pushed the PSP hardware to its limits, delivering smooth animations that felt alive. Gameplay captures the essence of the PS2 originals: epic combos, challenging puzzles, and brutal finishers. One standout moment is the emotional reunion with Kratos' daughter, only to lose her again. This scene humanizes him more than most early console titles ever did. But for all its achievements, Chains of Olympus is a smaller-scale experience. It's short and linear, limited by the hardware, feeling like a condensed God of War. Still, it proved something crucial. God of War wasn't just a console experience, it was a world, and Kratos was ready to expand it. Number 8. God of War Host of Sparta. 2 years after his last adventure, Kratos returned to the PSP in Ghost of Sparta, proving handheld gaming could deliver console-quality action. Developed by Ready at Dawn, this sequel took everything from Chains of Olympus and expanded it. Better visuals, deeper storytelling, and refined combat. The plot dives into Kratos' past, exploring his relationship with his brother, Deimos, who was kidnapped by the gods as children. For the first time, we see Kratos driven not by vengeance, but by guilt and family ties, adding a compelling emotional layer to the story. This emotional depth connects beautifully to his future as a father in the Norse era. Technically, the game is a marvel. Every environment feels massive for the PSP. From Spartan cities to fiery temples, the combat is fast, the magic abilities are varied, and the pacing is nearly perfect. Ghost of Sparta deepens the lore, revealing Sparta's culture, the oracle's prophecy, and how Kratos' curse truly began. Despite hardware limitations, the production value is so high, it feels like a PS2 title shrunk down, not just a portable spin-off. If this game had launched on a full console, it could easily rank among the top-tier entries. Often overlooked, Ghost of Sparta is one of the most complete and underrated games in the entire franchise. Number 7. God of War Ascension, released in 2013. This game is a curious chapter, the last of the Greek-era saga before the reboot. For many, it's the most forgotten entry, but don't let that fool you. Ascension is one of the most polished and technically advanced experiences of its time. Set before the other games, Kratos is still human, tormented, and chained to Ares. He's not the God-slayer yet. He's a man fighting for his freedom. This vulnerability adds depth to his character, even if some fans miss the epic scale. Visually, Ascension is jaw-dropping, pushing the PS3 to its limits. The detail in lighting and effects is stunning, making every moment immersive. The combat system shines with smooth mechanics, introducing weapon swapping and elemental abilities. However, the story pacing feels smaller and more subdued than its predecessors. There's no major mythological showdown at the end, which some players might miss. But Ascension took a bold step by introducing multiplayer, a wild experiment for the franchise. Players could align with gods and battle in chaotic arenas, showcasing Santa Monica's willingness to innovate. In hindsight, Ascension is an underrated technical showcase, a strong farewell to the classic era of God of War. Number 6. God of War Ragnarok. One of the most ambitious sequels ever made. Ragnarok is massive, emotional, and cinematic from start to finish. It picks up years after the 2018 reboot, with Kratos and Atreus facing the prophecy of the end of the world. Everything feels bigger. More realms, more characters, more drama. The performances are top-notch, especially Christopher Judge as Kratos and Sonny Suljic as Atreus. Odin and Thor steal the show, adding depth to the Norse gods like never before. But for all its beauty, Ragnarok has some serious flaws. The pacing drags at times, with long dialogues and side quests that kill the momentum. Kratos, once the god of rage, suddenly refuses to fight even when his son is in danger. It fits the mature theme, but often feels inconsistent and forced. The Atreus sections, especially with Angerboda, slow things down. They break the flow of the main story. Beautiful, but not fun. Then comes the final battle against Odin, which should have been epic, but isn't. After all the build-up, it feels short and underwhelming. The Allfather goes down like a mid-tier boss, and the emotional payoff just doesn't land. Ragnarok shines with great performances, visuals, and heart, but it's far from flawless. It's an ambitious sequel that hits high highs and frustrating lows. A great game, yes, but not the masterpiece many expected. Number 5. God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, the unexpected DLC that took everyone by surprise. What many thought would be a simple expansion turned out to be a profound journey. Released for free, it's part epilogue, part therapy session, and part roguelike combat challenge. Set after Ragnarok, Kratos enters Valhalla not to battle others but to confront his own demons. Each run forces him to face his memories, regrets, and fears from his past. Through haunting dialogue and clever gameplay, we witness Kratos processing his journey from Greece to Midgard. What's amazing is its replayability. Every dive into Valhalla shifts the environment, dialogue, and combat. The roguelike formula keeps it fresh, while the storytelling adds emotional depth that resonates with longtime fans. It may be short, but it packs a powerful punch. For those who followed Kratos for nearly 2 decades, Valhalla feels like a quiet farewell. It's introspective, meaningful, and one of the most creative DLCs PlayStation has ever released. Number 4. God of War 2018. This game redefined everything we thought we knew about the franchise. After years of silence, Santa Monica Studio completely reinvented it. And wow, did it work! Kratos is older, quieter, and now a father, navigating the Norse realm of Midgard. The one-shot camera style pulls you in. No cuts, no loading screens, just pure storytelling. It's cinematic, emotional, and so mature. The Leviathan Axe? Instant classic. Its weight, the recall mechanic, and versatility make it one of gaming's most satisfying weapons. The world is rich with lore, side quests, and breathtaking visuals. But let's be real, it's not perfect. Some pacing issues stand out. Certain sections drag on, especially when backtracking. The enemy variety feels limited, with many trolls just rebranded under different names. And while the combat is heavy and precise, it's slower than before, which disappointed some fans. But what truly elevates God of War 2018 is its story. This isn't just a tale of revenge, it's about learning to be better. Kratos' struggle to guide Atreus without repeating his mistakes feels raw and deeply human. The subtle callbacks to his Greek past and the emotional finale hit hard. Despite its flaws, God of War 2018 is one of the greatest reboots ever made. It strikes a perfect balance between reinvention and respect for its legacy. It's not flawless, but it shows that even the ghost of Sparta can evolve. Number 3, God of War. This is where it all began. In 2005, God of War didn't just release, it revolutionized the action genre. It combined cinematic storytelling, brutal combat, and Greek mythology like nothing else before. The pacing was tight, the boss fights massive, and the soundtrack? Thunderous. You kick things off by battling the Hydra, an opening that set the tone for the entire franchise. Over the top, relentless, and unforgettable. Kratos became an instant icon, a tragic anti-hero seeking redemption through chaos. The combat system was groundbreaking, with the Blades of Chaos offering fluid combos and satisfying finishers. It inspired a generation of action games, from Dante's Inferno to Bayonetta. The puzzles and level design still hold up surprisingly well today. And that ending? Kratos ascending to become the new God of War was pure storytelling gold. Sure, it's aged a bit, but its DNA is in every action game that followed. This is where legends are born, and where rage found a name. Number 2, God of War 2. Now we dive into true Olympus tier gaming with God of War 2. This sequel is a masterpiece that pushed the PS2 to its limits. It takes everything from the first game and amplifies it tenfold. The story picks up right after Kratos becomes a god, only to be betrayed by Zeus. That betrayal ignites a time travel revenge arc filled with unforgettable moments. The gameplay is cinematic, like nothing else on the PS2. Every set piece is legendary, from battling the Colossus of Rhodes to soaring on Pegasus. The pacing is flawless, pure adrenaline from start to finish. Technically, it's astonishing. It squeezed every ounce of power out of the PS2. The graphics and scale were so advanced, many thought it looked like an early PS3 title. It even shipped on 2 discs, showcasing its massive scope. The music, voice acting, and combat refinement are all top tier. Kratos' fury feels unstoppable, and his journey is pure mythic chaos. And that cliffhanger ending? Kratos climbing Mount Olympus, screaming, "Zeus, your son has returned," still gives chills. It's the perfect sequel, bigger, smarter, and more explosive in every way. If God of War 3 didn't exist, this would have been the perfect finale to Kratos' Greek saga. Number 1, God of War 3, the ultimate crescendo. The conclusion to the Greek saga and the absolute peak of cinematic action gaming. When God of War 3 dropped in 2010, it shattered every expectation. The opening fight against Poseidon, scaling Mount Olympus on Gaia's back, remains one of the most jaw-dropping intros ever created. The visuals were revolutionary for their time. Dynamic lighting, massive scale, and seamless transitions between gameplay and cutscenes. Every boss fight felt monumental. Poseidon, Hades, Helios, Hermes, Hera, and finally Zeus. Each encounter pushing the limits of spectacle and brutality. This was Kratos Unleashed. Pure vengeance made playable. The combat is furious, the music thunderous, and the sense of scale still unmatched in modern gaming. And it wasn't just a critical success, it was a commercial phenomenon. God of War 3 was so massive that it dramatically boosted PlayStation 3 sales worldwide, with thousands of players buying the console just to experience this one game. It became one of the defining titles of the PS3 era, the kind of release that sells hardware all by itself. But beyond the spectacle, what truly stands out is how the story closes. Amid the destruction and rage, Kratos finally confronts the emptiness of revenge. The ending, where he sacrifices himself to free humanity from the gods' control, gives the saga genuine emotional depth. It's poetic, violent, and cathartic, everything God of War should be. To this day, God of War 3 remains the definitive Kratos experience, the perfect blend of chaos, storytelling, and mythic scale. No other entry captures the same balance of raw emotion and godlike power. It's not just a game, it's the masterpiece that defined a generation, and the moment Kratos became truly immortal in gaming history. And that's it. Every God of War ranked from worst to best. From handhelds to next-gen consoles, from Olympus to Midgard, Kratos' journey is easily one of the most legendary in all of gaming. But remember, this is just my opinion. At the end of the day, what really matters is what you enjoy playing. We all have different favorites, and that's what makes gaming so awesome. So tell me, what's your favorite God of War game? Drop your ranking in the comments, and let's see where we agree or completely disagree. And if you love gaming, hardware, and epic stories like this, make sure to follow Critical FPS for more awesome content.